Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you 5 DIY lip balms that you've never seen before. If you enjoy this video, please click that like button and comment down below with any future video suggestions you might have. And if you're not already subscribed and would like to see more fun DIY videos, please click that subscribe button. The first lip balm will be a mini donut lip balm. For this one, I'm going to use one of these mini donut pans. I'm going to use some olive oil to coat the inside of the pan, and I'm just going to do 2 to begin with. To make the lip balm, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of beeswax along with 2 tablespoons of coconut oil and melt that in the microwave on 10-second increments until it is fully melted. For each little donut tin or cup, it requires 1 tablespoon of beeswax and 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. To give it a little tint, I'm going to add some brown eyeshadow. If you don't want to use eyeshadow, you can also use some cocoa powder. I poured the mixture into the 2 that had olive oil on them. I placed that in the refrigerator for about 20 to 25 minutes. Here they are after they came out of the refrigerator. I just flipped them over, tapped on them, and they released from the pan. To make the fake icing for the top, I'm going to use a half a teaspoon of beeswax and a half a teaspoon of coconut oil. I melted that in the microwave on 10-second increments until it was fully melted. Then I'm going to take a piece of lipstick and stir that in until it is melted. I let the mixture sit for about a minute or 2 to cool down just a little bit, and there's 2 ways that you can do it. You can drizzle it over the top, or the way that I found that was better was to place some on a plate and then flip the donut over and place the donut on top of it. Then I added some sprinkles. And then I just made a few more because these were so fun to make. And for one of them, I just melted a half a teaspoon of beeswax and a half a teaspoon of coconut oil, and I mixed in a few chocolate chips. And once that was cooled down, then I placed the donut in it and added some sprinkles so it had a chocolate topping. Here are a few others I made. The next thing that I will show you is how to put the box together. I printed out the printable. I will leave a link down below where you can print this out. And then I cut it out, and then on the lines I just started folding it. I placed some glue on the flaps to hold it together. Place the donut lip balm in the box, and there is how you make these easy donut lip balms. The second DIY project will be mini soda bottle lip glosses. For this one, I'm going to use these mini Tabasco hot sauce bottles. I started by removing the label. Make the lip gloss for this one. In a cup, I'm going to add some Vaseline. And to the Vaseline, I'm going to add a little bit of cocoa powder and then just a little bit of black eyeshadow to try to get it around the same color as Coca Cola. placed the mixture in a Ziploc bag and cut off the end. And I actually started by first trying to put it in the bottle just from the top. And I found it worked better if you pushed the bag all the way in and then started squeezing it out that way, as the opening to the bottle is really tiny on this one. For the wand on this one, I'm just going to use one from an old lip gloss that I had. I will also show you how to make your own at the end of this one. And I just started by taking the wand off of this one and then cutting it down to size. I placed some hot glue in the cap and glued the wand to that to secure it in place. I printed out the Coca Cola label. All of the links will be down below for the printables, and then I just cut it out. I applied some glue to the back and secured it to the bottle. If you want to make a carrier for this one, then you will need to print out this printable and cut it down to size. I folded on all the white lines. I cut out where the handle is, and then I used glue to secure it together. I repeated this process twice so I could have a 4-pack carrier. I had both sides made. I added some glue to the back and glued them together. And that's how you make these soda bottle lip glosses. Now I will show you how to make a wand if you want to make one from scratch. And I just took a clip from my last video, so the bottle that I use in there is a bit different. If you don't have a lip balm that you can use the wand from, you can make one. And I'm just going to use a tube from a bottle and just make sure that you thoroughly wash and clean it. Place it into the container that you're using and cut it down to size. I cut off a little piece from a makeup sponge. I'm going to use a piece of thread. Dental floss will also work. I made a loop and then I threaded it through the tube. I placed the sponge in the middle and I pulled on the thread until the sponge was tight and wouldn't fall out. I'm going to take the wand that I made for this one and I'm going to put some glue in the cap and secure the wand to the cap. And if you want an alternate to the Vaseline, what you can do is you can use some coconut oil, and then to the coconut oil I just added some cocoa powder and a little bit of black eyeshadow, mixed that together until I got the color of soda, and then I placed that into one of the mini bottles. And here is my 4-pack of different lip gloss recipes for these DIY lip gloss soda bottles. The third lip balm will be a mini vanilla coffee Starbucks lip balm. In a cup, I just added some coffee grounds. Next, I'm going to add some of this vanilla flavoring syrup. I mixed the coffee grounds, the vanilla syrup, and some cocoa powder together until it was all mixed up. Now I'm going to add some Vaseline to the mixture and stir it together. For the lip balm containers for this one, I'm going to use some of these disposable K-cups that you use in a coffee machine. I will leave a link down below to these. And you get these filters and the bottoms and the tops in these. I'm only going to be using the cups and the lids. And here's how these cups work. You can just pop the lid on and pop it off. I just placed my lip balm mixture into the K-cup, and then I wiped around the tops, and make sure that you don't fill it all the way up as the lid does go down a little bit into the cup. To make the straw, I'm going to cut down a Q-tip, and then I'm going to paint that with some green acrylic paint. I went online and printed out a Starbucks logo and glued that to the cup. Once the glue had dried, I glued the straw to the lid. And that's how you make this Starbucks Vanilla DIY Lip Balm. The fourth DIY lip balm will be Gummy Bear Lip Balm. For this one, you will need some gummy bears, and you will also need some of this amazing mold putty. Started by mixing equal parts of the yellow and white mold putty together. Once it was mixed together, then I just pushed it gently into one of the gummy bears and then let that set for 15 minutes to make the mold. After 15 minutes, I removed the gummy bears. And there's a couple of ways that I made this lip balm, and I will show you both. One was to add a little bit of beeswax and coconut oil to a spoon and melt that over a candle. That was melted down. I added some red eyeshadow and mixed it together. I poured the mixture into one of the gummy bear molds and set that in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Another way to make the lip balm is to melt down an old chapstick, and you can tint it with either a crayon or an old piece of lipstick. Here are mine after I took them out of the freezer, and they just popped right out of the molds. And I just made some orange ones, yellow ones, some more red, and some more green ones. And then to keep these, I will show you how to make a bag for them. I printed out the printable and I cut them both down to size. I took one of the gummy bear packages and I cut out the white part in the middle so it would be see-through just like the bag. And here is what mine looks like after it was cut out. You will need a Ziploc bag, and what I did was I placed the printable on top of that and I marked off around it and then cut it down to size. To seal the side and the bottom, I'm just going to take a piece of parchment paper and a metal ruler, and I'm going to place the bag in the piece of parchment paper and then place the ruler on top, and then with an iron I'm going to go over that to seal it closed. And then I just repeated that same process for the side. Next part, I'm going to use some contact paper. You can also use laminating paper or clear packaging tape. I placed the bag onto the contact paper, and then the part of the printable that I cut out, I folded over the contact paper and laminated or sealed those two pieces together, and then I cut it out. I also used contact paper to laminate the other printable as well. Here is what the two pieces should look like at this point. Now I just glued the two pieces together. And now you can add the Gummy Bear lip balms to this Gummy Bear bag. The last DIY lip balm will be Twizzlers. For this one, you can either use Twizzlers or you can use red licorice. For this one, I took a piece of licorice and I let it sit out overnight. And then the next day, I fully coated it with some nail polish and then I let that dry. Once the nail polish had dried on the licorice, I put that on a piece of parchment paper and I coated it with hot glue to form a mold. Once the piece was fully coated with hot glue, I set that in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes. Mine after it came out of the refrigerator, and I found the best and the easiest way to remove the licorice from the mold is to run it under some warm water. Here are both of mine after I cleaned them out. I placed some cornstarch into the hot glue mold so the lip balm mixture wouldn't stick to it. To make the lip balm for this one, I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of beeswax. If you don't have beeswax, you can also use shea butter. And to that, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil and melt that in the microwave on 10-second increments until it is fully melted. Now to tint this, you can either use some eyeshadow, you can use a crayon, or you can use a lipstick. Place the hot glue mold on an ice pack and then pour in the lip balm mixture. Place that in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Here is mine after I took it out of the freezer, and then I just pulled the mold away and the lip balm released from the mold. If you want to remove some of the cornstarch, I just took a toothbrush and gently brushed it away. And the other way to make the mold for these is to use the amazing mold putty like I did in the Gummy Bear one. And then I just made a lip balm mixture for this one to show you how these work. I hope you guys enjoyed all 5 of these DIY lip balm ideas. As always, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Until next time, I hope you guys all have an amazing day.